why female business leaders are changing this. Woohoo. A big topic, this one, actually. Hot topic in terms of, sales, that word sales. I'm just going to, as always, just check that if I can. I'm streaming into the group. It's, yes, because this last week we had a few technical issues where this is concerned. So there we go. Yes, I appear to be live and streaming. So welcome to this evening's. Welcome to this live about the ugly truth of traditional sales. And this is a very hot topic. Sales is. If you got sort of, I don't know, 1,000 people in a room and asked them about what their meaning they attach to the word sales, it would be a very interesting conversation with many, many people. So this evening we are going to be talking about that hot topic, sales. And because we are meaning-making machines, we will all have our own associations with the word sales and what it means to us. So we did a poll in our main Facebook group, and basically, it was very much a case of, what's your view on sales? What do you believe? What do you think about sales? And we asked people different, there were different statements for this poll. The one that got the most votes was actually, I love it. I get to help people. But if I tell you that the majority of people that actually click that one are my clients, that doesn't surprise me. Everyone else typically filled out, it fills me with dread. I hate it. It's sleazy. It's underhanded. It's icky. There was somebody that put, I'm good at sales, but I don't know how to get more customers. That's about really that one is really about understanding your customers, because when you understand your customers, there is no way that you cannot know where they are, because you know them. And if you don't know that answer to that question, it means you haven't dived deep enough on who your customers actually are, on where they are and their buying habits. Because when you know their buying habits, that leads like success leaves clues. So it's a paper trail or kind of, I just think of it like Hansel and Gretel in the forest, and they okay, so fair enough, maybe not a great analogy, because didn't the birds come down and eat the seeds? Anyway, you know where I was going on this one. Really must work on my analogies. So let's talk about sales this evening. So what I'm going to say is that up until about 4 years ago, I probably would if I'd seen that poll, I would have clicked that I hate it. I think it's underhanded. I think it's icky. It's sleazy. It's horrible. I hated it. And yet there were so many people around me that said, God, you're really great, a really great saleswoman. And yet my meaning that I attached to sales was really, really icky. And so I didn't want that as part of my identity. So I literally repelled that in business. I really didn't like the sales part of business, especially if I thought about it as sales. And this is the big thing, is that when I relaxed into my businesses and I just truly did what I enjoyed, and I connected with customers, and it was just so pleasurable. It was all in flow, and I didn't even think of it as sales. But as soon as somebody put the spotlight on sales, that was like a sort of, I hunkered down, and very much a case of I didn't want to have anything to do with it, because I'd got so many reference points about what sales meant to me, and I'm sure you have too, or at least for the people that filled out that it fills me with dread, it's sleazy, it's underhanded, and it's icky. The people that put I love it, I get to help people, there's a big clue in that. So that's what was happening for me, is that I was, when I didn't think about sales in the traditional sense, I was very, very open to actually just interacting, connecting with people, and really helping them solve a problem. And that's the key to this, because the old way of doing this, the traditional way of doing this, was very much based on I'm going to say a masculine energy. Now, I don't want you to misunderstand this. This is not man bashing. This is masculine energy. There's feminine energy, there's masculine energy in all of us to different degrees, and it's a dance between the two. Now, when it comes to sales, traditionally, sales was done by men interacting with men and women, but it was driven by men because businesses were formed by men for men, if that makes sense. So the traditional business model, up until probably 50 years ago, 40 years ago, was very male dominated. There was very few women in business as entrepreneurs, and it wasn't the fact that we weren't in business, because we actually were. We were behind the scenes. We just weren't the business owners, right? So a lot of sales and sales techniques were driven by men, and that, men typically have a lot of masculine energy within them. And so masculine energy is a very forceful energy. It's very, very focused, directional, straight talking, straight to the point. All right, it's literally, here's the ball, go catch the ball. That's masculine energy for you. And so a whole kind of paradigm of sales built up in terms of the way sales was conducted. And there's, I can't even remember, there's a blooming horrible film about sales. I can't think of it. It's quoted all the time by closers. I can't stand that. I really, really can't stand that term, closers, because it implies that the person that people are interacting with, the customer, are transactions. They're statistics. They're cold. They're dead. They don't mean anything. And there's a saying which is called commission breath. So have you ever walked into, I don't know, anywhere? It could be a furniture store. It could be a car dealership. That kind of environment. And you walk in and all of a sudden they kind of come from nowhere. Currys. Sorry, Currys. But Currys, it is not so bad now, but it used to be like oh my goodness, on a quiet day, they'd all come out the woodwork and like, can I help you? And you see, this is the thing. With sales, it is the intention behind the sale. And so there's this saying which is commission breath. And commission breath is the intention of the person that is making their way to you. So if their intention is, whoa, I need to pay my mortgage this month, I need to sell, I need to get more commission, the intention that they arrive on scene with, you will be able to pick up on that. And so instantly you will put up barriers and defense mechanisms, and you'll come out with things like, oh, I'm just looking. I'm just looking. Oh, can I help you? No, it's fine. I'm just looking. That is an automatic response by many, many people, and quite rightly so. I mean, we've had sort of, some of us, 40 plus years of this type of sales. And, there's an automatic defense mechanism that goes up, which is just, leave me alone. You're trying to sell me. All right. So it's no wonder that there's a connotation to do with sales, that it is icky and sleazy and underhanded and forceful. But there is a new way of doing this. But before I come on to the new way of sales, in inverted commas, I just want to sort of, if you want to comment, if just by click on this video, you should be able to actually call up the video and then the comments box. So just want you to just straight away just put some comments in there about whether you're relating to what I'm saying here about the commission breath, about going into, it could be a car dealership, it could be anywhere. Have you ever experienced that, where you walk in and then automatically you just sense that you're almost like prey? It's like you're in the savannah. You're the antelope. Have they got antelopes in the savannah? I don't know. Anyway, you're on the, you're the prey. You're the antelope, and these are the lions coming out to get you. If you can relate to what I'm saying here, just kind of pop it in the chat, just to let me know that you're there. I know that we've got some, I think Zoe's here a few others, but as always, it's a bit slow to try and get the comments out. So I'm just going to wait a moment to hopefully, let's get some comments. Just going to see if, ooh, here we go. Oh God, I was like, how do I turn my volume down? Well, that sounded very Welsh as well. Hang on, here we go. Oh yeah, Zoe was saying, right, so I've got some quotes on here. Unfortunately, they're not showing on my screen at the moment, but basically, Zoe said, yeah, behind every good man is a great woman. Yeah. Jerry Maguire. Jerry Maguire. Yeah. Oh, show me the money. Yeah, absolutely. That was one, Kath. There is another. Do you know, I did have the video. I bought the video about 5 years ago because a sales team actually recommended that I watched it, and it was the most horrendous video that I think I've ever watched. Actually, it was a film. Oh, that's really going to bug me. I'm going to have to put it in the comments box after this video now. But it was all about the different, you know, okay, yeah, it was the old school kind of sales techniques, but it was just so old school, sleazy, push sales. It was no, it wasn't The Wolf of Wall Street either, Zoe. No, good guesses, folks. It's quite an old film. It was done in the 70s, 80s. Any of you got Google and you want to just type in this, you know, sales film, knock yourself out with that one. But yeah, anyway, we digress. So I'm assuming, because I don't know if you know, please put in the feed, in the comments, if you have experienced that commission breath that I'm talking about. Yeah, in terms of, have you walked into a, you know, it could be a car dealership, it could be, you know, a furniture store, it could be, you know, it could even be, oh my goodness, the door-to-door salespeople, the double glazing salespeople. I mean, oh bless, oh my goodness, oh yeah, ooh sleazy, yeah, ooh sleazy then, yeah, Zoe's saying ooh sleazy then. So anyway, right, that's the old way of doing it. Okay, so let's just clear that energy away. There is a new way, thank goodness. Thank goodness. The new energy is coming in, which is the feminine energy. Oh my goodness. Now, okay, so I don't want you to misunderstand this in terms of masculine is like forceful and feminine is like the woo. Yeah, okay, feminine energy is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. And so when we come to sales, this is a different type because it's not driven by the head so much, it's driven by the heart, and it's driven by connection and service, and it's not just, you know, this, when I say feminine energy coming through, I am not, I just want to make it really clear, it's not women that are driving this, it is more of a feminine energy. So there are plenty of men who are driving this forward on this planet, thank goodness now, and recognizing that that old way is just not the way to do it anymore. Because, you know, in this world where, you know, we've got so much technology nowadays, which has disconnected us all, actually. It's disconnected all the humans on this planet. This style of sales is all about showing up and being an advocate for people. It's about showing up and being of service to others. And when you do that, not only does it feel absolutely fantastic for you as a business owner, but do you remember what I was saying at the beginning of this kind of this video, the fact that when I was in total flow and I wasn't even thinking about sales, it just felt so nice. You know, I was helping people. It was like, yeah, would you like this? Is that the best fit for you? Oh no, okay, I don't think we can help you. Have you tried this? That kind of advocacy, standing for somebody else and really connecting to another human being rather than seeing them as a transaction or a statistic or a user or a subscriber. Because after all, isn't that how you'd like to feel? Isn't that how you'd like to feel and be treated? With respect and honouring the fact that you have choices that you know, you want to be advised upon things, but at the same time there's this thing called free will. And so, you know, from a from a business owner point of view, it's far nicer to have customers that want to work with you than try to coerce people into working with you and then not giving a crap basically about, you know, whether they get a result or an outcome from your products and services. So the new way of doing this is very much connecting at a human level with another person. It is about finding out what they want. Again, let's flip this a little bit. The old school way of doing marketing was very much the ego-driven style marketing. It was very much case, this is us, this is what we do, we're really, really good at what we do, and these are the features and benefits of all our products and services. Sorry, I'm teasing. But it's true. The new style of marketing is very much a case of, actually, let's just forget us, because actually, you don't want to know about me. You want to know about you, because all of us as a human instinct have this what's in it for me trait, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it is human nature to think that. And so from a business point of view, from a marketing point of view, if you recognize that actually people don't care about you or your business, they just care about getting an outcome, fixing a certain problem or issue that they have, because that's what businesses, that's what we're here for, is to solve problems for people. It is to solve issues and challenges. So when you can really connect to another human being and ask them what they want, oh, there's a novel thing, isn't there? Ask them what they want. And, you know, I say it's traditional, you know, it's new marketing and there's traditional marketing. Actually, good marketing has always been this way. It's just that somewhere along the lines, it got a little bit mucky. It got a little bit icky. I don't know where, you know, where this wrong part of it came from. I'm not sure, but certainly I do know that the fundamentals of marketing have always been, it's what your customers want. But somewhere it got kind of lost in translation. I don't know. But anyway, thank goodness it's now coming back to this style of advocacy. And so when you come from a place of advocacy, as I said, it doesn't feel icky anymore. If you ask questions to your customers, then they are going to respond and you're going to get a lot of information from them. And then you can treat them in your marketing as humans. Isn't that a novel thing? Good grief. So again, pop some comments in the box for me if you can, in the comments thing. If you want to just click on the video, you'll be able to actually type some stuff into the comment box. I'm sure that my computer in a moment is just going to whiz with about like hundreds of blooming comments, because at the moment I'm looking on my phone to get questions. Hello, Lenka. Lenka's here as well. It's wonderful. Zoe said, ooh, flirting, men on women or... Ooh, hang on then. Let me read this one. Hang on. Zoe says, flirting, men on women or women on men. I think that's what went wrong to make the opposite sex feel good. You gotta flirt. That's an interesting take on it, Zoe. Okay. I'm not sure where you were going on this one. I don't know whether I entirely agree with that one, I gotta say. I think it's more to do with the fact that it's got... That's quite a masculine way of looking at something, I gotta say. And there's no, you know, and there's no, I'm no blaming, shaming here. It's just, it's interesting our kind of beliefs about different things. I think if we, are you saying that it was flirting, that's the old school way, that men thought they had to flirt with women and women thought they had to flirt with men? If you can pop that in the box, Zoe, so I don't misunderstand what you're saying. Because actually that's not right, because, you know, that, and if that was the old school way, then yeah, absolutely, that's where it went wrong. It's that misinterpretation of how to make somebody else feel good, you know, and that would have been lost in translation into flirting. You don't have to flirt with somebody to make a sale. You do, however, need to connect with them with rapport, and that's very, very different to flirting. Yes, yes, she's saying, yeah, that's where it went wrong, I think. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, maybe that and again, there were so many different underhanded techniques used, even to the point where hypnosis started being used in sales for the detriment of people, which, you know, when I trained as a hypnotist, I was really fortunate to train with Paul McKenna, and at the time there was the pickup artist stuff going on with a lot of men using hypnosis. And yeah, for me, I actually sort of dipped out of the industry because I really didn't like where it was going. And sorry, then there's no relation to what I'm saying about Paul McKenna, by the way. It was just that I got to meet a lot of other hypnotists, especially men. And from that point of view, I was shocked at how those tactics were being used in sales and also to pick up women. And so certainly, yeah, when we're looking at that old school way, that's coercion. That's coercion. That's awful in whatever context. And so it's no wonder we have all become very highly suspicious about sales and what it stands for. And that has to stop. That has to stop, because it's not great. And what we're seeing now is, you know, a lot of successful female business owners now are stepping up and becoming advocates. It's literally advocates for sales and changing the meaning associated with sales. As I said, it is not to do with flirting. It's not to do with coercing. It's not to do with heavy persuasion techniques to kind of, you know, like a game of cat and mouse to see whether you can get the sale or not. It's got nothing to do with that. When you truly connect to another human being with your heart and come from a place of service for them, you become an advocate. And when you become an advocate, you stand for them in terms of decent human being with integrity. And that's very, very different to that old school kind of sleazy sales technique. Yeah, empathy helps. Yeah, Sean, I mentioned, so empathy and rapport are a connection. I was going to say technique. I just think it should be just human nature, surely. I don't know. I mean, to be able to truly connect to someone, look them in the eyes if you are able to, and truly connect and listen to them and connect with the heart, that is true rapport and true empathy. Is finding something to love about somebody else. That's what I was taught about rapport. As simple as that, is truly find something to love about the other person. And there's always something to find to love about somebody, okay? Yeah, you might find it difficult with some people, but it's finding that one thing that you can, you know, it might be the jewelry that somebody's wearing. It might be, you know, paying a compliment that is a real compliment, not a fake one. Again, this is that old school stuff, is all about the fake. The new style is very much a case of bringing in the true authentic nature of humans, which is, as I said, I'm why on earth this didn't actually, you know, why it's not naturally happening, I don't know. Let's have a look at some of these quotes. Yeah, conversational hypnosis came in around then. Yeah, that old school way. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I've spoken about the kind of the sleazy use of this type of stuff. But let's focus on how you know, what are the female business leaders now? How are they approaching sales? Well, first of all is rapport and empathy with the person you're speaking to, true connection. Second thing is really asking questions to find out exactly what your customer truly wants. What do they love and what do they hate? What is their pain points? What are their hells? What don't they want? Yeah, what is the worst case, you know, what are they trying to avoid? So that's the kind of, because when you understand another human being, you can see whether the solution that you have is the best fit for them. And when you stand in integrity in service, what you don't do is it doesn't matter what your bank balance is saying, when you are coming from a place of connection to it and genuinely treating another human being as a human being, as if they are a loved one of your family, or even how you'd want to be treated, it's about matching then your services and your products to that other human being to say, can I genuinely help this person? Can I solve their problem? And if you can, then there is a certainty that is attached to that. And when there is a certainty attached to that, the transactions will flow. And don't forget, sales is an energy exchange. It's you showing up with something of value for another person, and it's for that person to understand the value of what you're offering. And if there is a match with the two, there's then exchange of energy, and that's where the cash is transferred. Yeah, so you give the products and services, the person gives the cash. So sales is a very basic formula in terms of an exchange of energy, but it's the intention that you show up with. That's where it all got lost in translation. So the old school sales method was very much you showed up, and it was like, what's in it for me? Okay. My phone has just had 15% battery. I'm gonna have to watch this, because all of the comments are coming in on my phone at the moment. So anybody got any comments about this? Anything? Are you getting what I'm saying? Do you disagree with what I'm saying? Just pop it in the chat box. I don't mind. Let's have a conversation. There's no rights or wrongs, no blames and shames of this. Some of us were taught those quite old school methods of sales. I tried to be taught those old school methods of sales when as I said, I kind of years ago, I was like, right, I need to learn how to sell. Yeah. And so I found a sales course, and it just didn't feel right. It just felt awful. And I didn't get the sales I wanted to from my business, because it was just completely out of alignment with me and my beliefs and what I stand for. Because I kind of, I like being honest, and I like to stand in integrity. So for me, it just felt really, ooh, no, that's horrible. And it wasn't until I was determined to get better at sales and learn a more honest technique with integrity that I found somebody on this planet who is exceptional at what they do. They actually worked for Tony Robbins as their their main sales guy, and and I'm completely indebted to him, because he taught me this new method in terms of really connecting with humans and making sales, for want of a word, very pleasurable for both parties, because I am helping solve major problems in people's businesses, and there is an exchange of energy there in terms of the outcomes that I get for people. Okay, so what we got here? Louise says, yeah, I agree with this 100%. I always buy from real people. Yeah, anyone who makes me feel listened to always makes me want to buy. Yeah, absolutely, Louise. There's that saying, which is people hate to be sold to, but they love to buy. I mean, all of us, we love to buy, surely, yeah? I love buying. Sometimes maybe a little bit too much, but I love going to buy. So it's not for the fact that people don't want to buy from you, because they do. It's just the fact that, are you making it a pleasurable experience for them? Are you allowing them to connect with you and really enjoy the process of buying? Or are you coming from that kind of commission breath point of view? And believe me, this is not just face-to-face sales here. This will wreak out in written communication online. So if you have an online business and you don't have any face-to-face contact with customers, this will eke out into your marketing, and you will find that your sales are really, really slow if you're using these techniques. Yeah, people buy from people, Sean said. Yeah, absolutely. So okay, so let's just go through these basics again. So the first thing is the old school methods are dying. A fast death, thankfully. Not as fast as I'd like them to die, let's put it that way. Not the people, by the way. I'm not talking about the techniques. I just want to clarify that. Yeah, Sean's saying, I want to know who I'm buying from. Yeah, absolutely, that's really important. And the thing is, though, it's about, that's an interesting statement there, actually, Sean, because, I want to know who I'm buying from. But the first point of connection is, that communication, if that communication really touches your heart in terms of the way somebody's communicating to you, in terms of they know you, they get you, that's creating the rapport and empathy online. Does that make sense? So if we were having a face-to-face conversation, that connection and that rapport and that empathy is created in verbal conversation. The harder part of it is when you come to written communication online. So your adverts, your Facebook posts, whatever you're doing in your marketing, your website, there are 5 different styles of writing online to create this type of connection now. It is not that old school kind of like, we have a discount and we have an offer. That, do you notice my voice tends to go really weird when I'm talking about the old school stuff? Anyway, the old way of doing this, that's very kind of formulaic, directional, masculine energy, directional copy, and buy this is a discount. The more feminine energy approach to this, and again clarifying, not male or female, the feminine energy attached to this is it's a more nurturing, loving, caring, connecting energy in terms of flow. So it's very much not centered about yourself and your business. It's centered about caring really about and connecting and being able to communicate as if you are a fly on the wall in your customer's life, or you're walking in their shoes. And when you can do that very powerfully, and that's what we teach in our program, when you do that very, very powerfully, the barriers all dissolve down. They break down because the person is genuinely connected with you and goes, oh my goodness, they actually feel as though they're being listened to. The customer feels that they're being listened to. That's really, really important. Lenka says people buy from people. Snap. That's what Sean said as well. I'm sure everyone's heard this before, but it's exactly what I say. Yeah, absolutely. People buy from people. People love to buy, hate to be sold to. Old school methods, out. In comes caring more about your customers than you do yourself. They do not want to hear about you. They don't care about you, basically. That comes secondary. People buy with emotion first, and then they justify with logic. Don't know whether you've heard that one before. People buy with emotion and they justify with logic. It's actually sort of the center part of the brain, which is that more logical kind of response. It's that feel good thing that we love when we go shopping. Any of us that go shopping, it's that more enjoyable kind of like, ooh, it's the emotions clicking in, right? If you've ever bought anything that you've truly just fallen in love with, yeah, you've kind of gone, oh, that's nice. And then you buy it, and then, or on your way to the checkout or something, you're going, so let's just take, I don't know, I'm going to take a pair of shoes or something, right? Oh yeah, that pair of shoes, okay. And you're thinking, as you've fallen in love with them first, so there will be something inside you that goes, ooh, that's nice. All right. Oh, I really want that. And then it clicks into more logical. So you would start justifying your purchase. So you will turn around and go, yes, those shoes will go with that outfit, or I can wear them with this, or can I, you will literally logically kind of explain away why you should buy that particular product. So it's very much driven by emotions first and then logic afterwards. Louise says, having faith in my products and services is important. Yeah, absolutely, Louise. If you don't believe in what you're selling, then how on earth will your customers believe in you and your products and services? So absolutely, yeah, spot on there, Louise. Kath says they also buy from businesses that they connect with. You identify with their values and what they care about. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we teach in our program, is very much a deep dive connection with customers in terms of what your business stands for and its values, because there is like an ethereal thread from your business out to other people that will believe the same thing. And so that's why a brand is not just a logo and colors. It's far more powerful than that. Rachel said, please could you give an example of the old school method and then how it could be reworked? Yeah, Rachel, you might have joined us a little later on this call. So You might want to watch this from the beginning, because I do talk you through the old way. So the old way would be very kind of directional, masculine energy, directional in its focus in terms of sales. So very kind of I want a sale, these are my targets, these are the numbers, this is how many people I have to kind of sell to. It's very, very transactional, very, very transactional, and there's very little heart. But I tell you this, some of the top salespeople that I've ever met over many, many years are the ones that have been able to do that target, okay? Because that is kind of still important. In business, we do need to know our targets. We need to kind of know how much we want to earn for our business to be profitable, because we're not doing this as a charity, folks. So from that point of view, you have to do the numbers first. But then when you actually come now into sales, in terms of that front-facing bit, the top salespeople that I've ever met, they then go straight to the heart, and they connect into the heart. So they think of the other person, their customers, as human beings, somebody's mum, somebody's dad, somebody's brother, sister, auntie, uncle. They connect to them with the heart as another human being. And then they put their hands on their heart, and they truly believe, and this comes back to what Louise said about having faith in her products and services. They put their hands on their heart. They truly, truly believe that their products and service is a solution which will actually, because you have to believe that. You absolutely have to believe that your product or service provides an outcome for people. Because if you don't, you're going to have a tough time. You're really going to have a tough time, because, as I said, if you don't believe in what you're doing, then why should anybody else? And then that's when it gets really icky in sales, because if you don't believe in your business, your products, your services, and you're trying to sell stuff at people, and that's, again, very masculine energy, I'm selling it at people, whether they want it or not, commission breath, that's not nice. And people do absolutely pick up on this. But you flip it into the new way of doing this, which is more of a feminine kind of style, feminine energy style of sales, then it's more about coming to it from I connect from my heart to another human being. I'm here in service to them to provide an outcome. And if it is the good fit for both of us, then a transaction will take place. If it's not a good fit, then we're not the right people for you. And, some of the best businesses out there stand true and firm. And if it's not a good fit, if there is a customer that wants something and it's not a great fit, they have the integrity to stand and say, I'm really sorry, but I don't believe that we're the right fit for you. Have you tried XYZ? because that's the difference between really being in scarcity in terms of wanting customers, and actually standing in your own power and knowing that actually your business is designed to bring your right type of customers to you, the right kind of customers. So hopefully that has answered some of these questions. If you've got any more questions, you can pop them in the chat box. But yeah, as I said, tonight we've been talking about the ugly truth of that traditional sales method and the more feminine energy way. And as I said, the feminine energy way is being used very much by men and women now on this planet at a very top level, and it's filtering down, thank goodness. But some of those old school methods are still being used and still being taught, and they are really having a hard time, thank goodness, because it just ain't working anymore, especially online. Online marketing and sales has changed dramatically, even over the last 5 years. And yeah, if anybody's wondering about my kind of like my mission about I wanted to be a really great saleswoman, yeah, absolutely knocked it out of the park on that one. In terms of, I now stand in integrity. I love what I do. I serve at the highest level. I get people amazing outcomes, and there is an exchange of energy which is related to the outcomes I provide. And when you can stand in that level of service, you don't have to, there is no scarcity involved in terms of it. It's very much you show up as an advocate, and if it's a good match, then that's fab. And if it's not, there are other recommendations available. And that's how I conduct my business. And that's why it feels so good, because not only am I creating an army of amazing warriors in business in terms of very strong business owners and stronger businesses, but I get to fulfill my legacy on this planet as well. And that feels really, really nice. And it doesn't have to be a similar business to mine. It can be any type of business, service, products, anything. If you come from that place of advocacy for your customers, instead of what's in it for me, as in the business owner, then you're absolutely going to hit gold on this one. And it's a win-win for everybody involved. Does that make sense to you all? Anybody got any comments on here? And there's plenty of books out there about how to blast through the beliefs about sales. One of the books, because wealth is attached to this. You see, money blocks tend to be attached to sales and belief about sales as well. Yeah, the Tapping into Wealth book by Margaret Lynch. I recommend that to a lot of our students in our program, but I'm going to put it out here because it's a damn good book and I recommend good books. So Margaret Lynch, Tapping into Wealth, is a really great book. If you haven't got it, I would suggest you go out and get it, because if you've got any money blocks or any kind of blocks at all, because money is related to so many other things in our lives, and those underlying belief systems can interrelate, so and interconnect. So go check out that book by Margaret. So okay, I'm going to start wrapping it up now. If anybody got any last questions they want to pop in the chat box for me, and I can answer those. I'm just going to wait a moment. Have you found this interesting? Have you kind of, there been any light bulb moments? Are you kind of like, yeah, give me some feedback. Give me some feedback. Anything that has kind of like, so I'm just going to wait here for my feed to catch up. Twiddle my thumbs while other comments come in. And if by any chance they do come in and I don't get the opportunity to answer them, I will reply in the chat box for you. But yeah, so very much a case of approaching this with a new way of thinking, and also just becoming aware now I've put this on your radar. It's going to be really funny for you to, you know, when you're out and about, when you're interacting with others in terms of a sales situation, to look at what type of energy and intention they're bringing to it. Because you see, there's a misunderstanding in terms of, you know, sometimes on the calls that I do, if somebody tells me their dream and they're in a lot of pain, it's usually the excuses and the stories we tell ourselves that keep us trapped. It's almost like those stories and those excuses that we feed ourselves for not transforming our businesses and, you know, dealing with the disconnect in our marketing and really sort of bringing that balance back into our businesses. When that happens, we if we are avoiding that, we will be telling ourselves stories. That's the thing that keeps us stuck, actually, is that we don't really face the truth of what's going on. And, you know, sometimes on the calls, I will stand as an advocate for somebody. You know, I can't want somebody's dream more than them, but if they've told me that they want this, they're in a lot of pain, and I know I've got a solution, I'm going to stand for them in terms of trying to get them over that bridge of fear, which is preventing them from changing and transforming their lives. Why wouldn't I? Yeah, because I hate to see businesses go out of business. It really, really rips my heart out like nothing else. And so from that point of view, why wouldn't I stand as a very strong advocate for somebody and say, I've got your back, you don't have to worry about this? So there's a misunderstanding sometimes about somebody really fighting for someone else. But as I said, there's a point where you cannot want somebody's dream more than them. So in sort of the dance of kind of this transaction with people, it's standing firm in terms of your belief in your products and services, and that's going back to what Louise said about having faith in your products and services. But it's also knowing that you're unattached to the outcome. Does that make sense? So I will stand strong for somebody as an advocate, but at the end of the day, it's their life. And, you know, it's, somebody gave me the analogy once of like the Titanic. The Titanic is sinking, there's everybody in the water, and you've come along in your lifeboat and you've gone, grab my hand. And if the person turns around and goes, Ah, no, I was hoping you're in a red lifeboat and I was hoping for like a green one. I tell you what, I'm just going to wait around here until the green one comes. And you're like, no, grab my hand. And they're like, no, I'm all right here. I'm okay here for the moment, And it's like, so, yes, that's painful. That's painful to actually witness that and be part of that. But hey, human it's free will at the end of the day. And yeah, anyway, so advocacy, folks, that's where it is. That's what it's all about. Ditching that old commission breath, no forceful stuff, standing strong for people and saying, yeah, we have a solution if you choose to take it, but we can't force it. But first of all, let's just see what's going on and how we can solve your problem. And if it is a good fit, we got a solution. And if it's not a good fit, you stand firm in integrity and you go, oops, we're not a great fit for you. Can I recommend some other stuff or another company or another product or something? That is true integrity of sales. When you do that, word will get round. Word will get round that you have a company and a business which is full of integrity. There we go. I don't think there's any other comments. I hope you've enjoyed this evening. I hope you've got a lot out of this. If you have a business that you feel disconnected in at the moment, if you feel that it's out of alignment, there's things going on that you don't understand in terms of you're not getting the customers you want, your marketing feels as though it's out of sync, or you're just bombarded by so many different options in terms of marketing activities, then please reach out. We do have the free consultation calls. There are no catches involved in it. You come on the calls and exactly we go through the process I've just described in terms of I stand and my team stand as in advocacy for you and your business. And actually my programs, because they are invitation only programs, they're off the table, folks, unless 100% we can absolutely solve your problem and what the problem is, yeah, and how we can solve it, and also that you're a good fit for our program, because it's not for everybody. So because it's a very, very powerful program what we do. So anyway, if you want to reach out, book a call with me, heathergifford.com/apply. The spaces do get filled up quite quickly. So if you do go onto the calendar, book whatever time and day suits you, and yeah, we'll jump on a call and have a chat about your business. So anyway, take care. There's a lot going on at the moment in business around the world in terms of stuff going on. I'm not going to say the corona word. I'm not going to say that. But I may do, in all seriousness now, I may do a Facebook Live next week about this, because it will have some impact on businesses. It's already having impact on businesses worldwide, and it would be remiss of me as an advocate in business to just gloss over this and just talk about customers and whatever. So I think it's really important to do a Facebook Live. So I think we're going to change from tradition and our schedule for next Thursday's call. So if you do want to jump on that one, it is going to be an interesting one, because I am going to be talking about crisis planning, how you can strengthen your business in the face of adversity and change, because although it might be everything changes, so it's not forever, but this will definitely disrupt certain businesses that are in the UK at the moment and elsewhere. So if you want to join me for that one next week, that will be next Thursday. Anyway, until then, take good care of yourselves. One foot in front of the other, as always in business. And thank you so much for joining me this evening. Take care until then. Bye, folks. Bye.